anxiety.
Happy Saturday, everybody. I hope you're well on this beautiful, very rainy Saturday, I have to say. I tried to do a live on TikTok. I've tried to do it several times and it's just quite difficult because there's so much writing on the screen. I'm trying to read it, and then somebody asked could they co-host, and I didn't understand and I accepted it. And then I was in this competition and I hadn't a clue what the competition was about. And I think it was like an Indian name. And I could hear lots of people in the background. He was on a speaker, and he came up, he was looking at me like I had 10 heads going, who is she? I didn't even understand what I was doing. So anyway, I just prefer my pre-recorded videos. I just want to say hi, and it's been a really busy week. I woke up this morning, excuse me, like I'm in pain is unbelievable today from head to toe. You see, I think it could be the fibromyalgia. I haven't been doing, people have noticed and have asked me why I'm not doing my juicing. I had a friend come over for a few days from Dublin, my friend Andrew, so I just didn't have the time or the wherewithal to do it. So my juicing, so that's gone by the wayside. So I think it might have an effect on me. Now, I wasn't going crazy when he was here in the sense out all the time. He did 2 days by himself in Edinburgh, and then we did a lovely day on Thursday, and so, and then just chilling, watching movies and stuff in the evening. So it was pretty chill. It was really nice. I would have loved to have done things like the castle with him and the dungeons he did, and I just haven't done any sightseeing. Imagine, since I've been here, I've done no sightseeing. I've been around my area, which is really beautiful, but just I've done actually not a museum, nothing. I feel really, I know, this year has been about grieving, living with my mother, grieving not seeing my mother, just grieving my mother in general. And it's been about trying not to be, which is really important for me, trying not to be angry. Angry at the situation, angry at people who have really, really hurt me. And just trying, there are quite a few situations, and I have to try and not stress myself and try and stay, stress free. And I think where I am and what I'm doing at the moment is just a perfect place to do that. I didn't sleep well last night. Every time I had a question in my head, I'd Google it, like, for example, what am I not supposed to take or eat during radiotherapy? And the big one that's coming up is antioxidants. So if you take supplementary antioxidants, vitamin C, A, and K, and I do take vitamin C. So, and I think there's vitamin K in my vitamin D. I think vitamin D is one as well, actually. So no supplements. You can have like, well, actually, I did kind of find one that said no raw fruit, no raw veg. So that's my juicing, raw fruit and veg. But I'm not sure. I mean, I can do that, but it's asking basically about different. I was asking about different fruits and veggies and things like that. So ADK, that's what it was. ADK and C is a big one. So because they would fight something coming into the body that's, not good. And obviously the radiotherapy is coming in and killing stuff. So I don't know the real ins and outs of it, to be very honest. But I just know that I'm going to come off my supplements that week. I don't know, do you come off them a week before? Do you come, I'll have to call on Monday and ask. But I wasn't advised. They didn't ask me about anything dietary. They just didn't ask me anything about it. But I found that even with my operation, wow, that's thunder. Oh my goodness, that's really loud. So yeah, so basically that's where I'm at. And I'm really worried about the fatigue, because I'm fatigued anyway. I've always suffered with fatigue at times, not like all of the time, but like with an underactive thyroid and fibromyalgia, there's a lot of fatigue there. At 20, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. So I have a phobia for fatigue. So anyone who knows me well knows that I never stop. I mean, that's what friends would say to me, and if you actually never stop. Now, obviously, it's different now and here, but I just never stopped. I would, I was in work, then I was in the gym, then I was walking my dog, and at the time I had dogs, cleaning the house, just constantly on the go, and that's my personality. I'm just a really lively person, and so it's pretty hard at the moment in the sense of I'm afraid of what's in front of me, and I know I shouldn't be, and people say, oh, don't think like that or whatever, but I can't help it. So I will make, I'm going to make juices in advance. They mightn't have the same effect and all of that, but I'm going to have to make juices in advance and it's not even for apparently the week of radiotherapy. It's the week after and the week after that again. And the fatigue can last for weeks and months. But not necessarily, but it can. So I'm going to try and do all that I can do on my end anyway. And they said the important thing is rest. So I'll do that as much at rest and movement or exercise. So yeah, so that's that. And so I kind of, I just feel I'm in that middle space again, waiting for my radiotherapy. I'm meant to be doing shoulder exercises, and I have to say I'm not doing them. I do kind of 2 of them, and then I think, oh, I have to lie down for the others. So then I say, well, I'll go upstairs and I'll do them later or whatever, because I can't lie on the floors here. They're all wooden floors, so it's not as if it's carpet, and I'll just lie on the carpet and do my exercises. So anyway, it's all just a big deal. The grass in my back garden is literally like a forest. It's been raining, and then when it's been sunny, I was busy or tired, so I will attempt to do my grass next week, because it's meant to be sunny going forward next week. And I just love being in the garden, just sitting in the garden. I mean, my garden's not just any garden. My garden looks out onto the most beautiful. That's another thing I'm a little bit afraid of, because I think this house might be getting sold. I don't know, because the agency I'm with doesn't answer my emails. So the girl I deal with in particular, she just doesn't get back to my emails. I got offered that this place could be because I've got cancer. They said that I could get the attic done upstairs. I could get the walls, the external walls, what's that thing called? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, for heating. So the attic, the walls, and something else. And I told the agency, because it's free, absolutely and utterly free. I'm not the owner, and I've heard nothing back. And then your time lapse lapses, so I'd have to reapply. And this house was just so cold that the doctors don't think, you know, I should be in a house as cold as this in the winter coming. But I could have had it nice and toasty, you know, warmer. It would bring it from an E. It's an E, and it would bring it to a C maybe, or something like that, which would be amazing. But it would also save for I can't actually use the electric heating anymore. It's just too expensive, and it doesn't heat the house. But I have rugs, and there's a log fire. Now the log fire heats the sitting room, and I was told you open the door and it heats the whole house. It doesn't actually. It just makes the room you're in cold and every other room cold. So it's not, you can sit here and then be really, really toasty and then go upstairs and get into a freezing bed. I know, but you could just go in and get an electric blanket or whatever, you know. So so my fear is around just knowing, like, you know, will I be here for the long term, because I absolutely and utterly love it. I love the view, I love the scenery, I love the feeling. It's very peaceful. It feels like home to me. It feels safe. It's just a lovely village. The people are lovely. Teddy won, as you know, first prize. I keep calling them just the dog of West Linton. So, you know, but yes, I'm feeling a little bit deflated today. You know, I'd love to be able to just jump in the car and 5 minutes away, you know, with friends, or 5 minutes away, in my local little shopping centre, or, you know, or 5 minutes away and there's a cinema, or five, you know what I mean? And it's not like that. So, but that brings its good bits as well, to be honest. So I just thought I'd just say hi, because I haven't been around. I will do a juice later when I have energy to stand up. I do have my coffee here. I'm drinking my coffee. I did have something to eat, actually. I always forget I've eaten. The tablets I'm on actually make you really, really hungry. So I'm hungry all the time. Which is a good thing, probably, that I'm eating. You know, it is a really good thing that I'm eating. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at. You know, I just, you know, somebody said to me the other day, you know, she just said, like, you know, you have to remember how brave you are. Like, you've gone through this completely and utterly, like, alone. And it's true, I have gone through this alone. Obviously I have a couple of friends here, but I have, you know, realistically gone through this alone, without a partner, without children, grandchildren, without, you know, siblings, or, you know, like lifelong friends, or whatever it is. I you know, like this, my friend, she like, you know, is going through the same thing, and there's 3 people I know here actually at the moment, but they all have, two have a husband and children, one has grandchildren, and the other guy, he's got a wife, children, grandchildren, and he's got his brothers and sisters, and the 2 girls have their siblings and in-laws and nieces and nephews and everything, and neighbours that they've known for years, and friends that they've grown up with and stuff like that. So it is just, it is what it is, you know, and I've been just so supported by the NHS that, you know, I do feel, you know, sometimes I think I'm getting used to the situation, actually, to be honest. In the beginning, it just had wake up, and the fear, I was so frightened all the time, just this fear of, like, what if I die here? What if I kept thinking I was going to have a heart attack and die. I just felt so stressed, and it was real. The pains in my chest were real, and I just kept thinking, what if I'm found dead? So I was like, I even rang a friend here a couple of times and said, if I don't call you in half an hour, will you ring an ambulance? Because I actually was and I left the front door open because I thought if an ambulance needs to get in. And then I thought, obviously, with cancer, like, what if I die here? And all the different things of, like, just all the logistics around dying, like, as in, where will my funeral be? Like, who actually want to bury me? Like, because I certainly know my family won't. Will I have a funeral here? But then what about my friends at home? And then you're thinking, who cares? Just throw my body into the sea, like whole. At least that might be giving to the ecosystem, like feed the sharks or whatever. That's actually a good point. I wonder, can I donate my body to the ocean to feed the fish and the sharks? That's actually a really interesting concept. But anyway, that would actually make me kind of happy. Now, obviously, if I was dead, I don't want to be thrown in alive. Yeah, that's really interesting. So if anyone knows anything about that, please let me know, because that actually is really interesting. I wonder, that would be a bit sick though. I was going to say, those tours you do and you can feed the sharks and you go in a cage. I wonder if you threw me down, like, and they could all watch me being eaten. Okay, that's a bit sick. But yeah, so anyway, I'm just all that went through my head. That's gone now a little bit. It's gone, I think it's because it's summer and, I know I'm on the mend. I know I've been diagnosed. I know everything's going in the right direction. But, I think as well, relationships are just very funny, aren't they? Like you can be, even relationships like with, say, an intimate relationship with a partner or a sibling or a best friend, that you can be so close, like so close. They're your closest person. You tell them everything. You love them wholeheartedly. You love them with all your heart and all your soul. And then there's nothing. Like, it's just like nothing. They're not there. They're gone. They're completely gone. There's no connection. There's no actual, it's, I feel for me, and I don't know if anyone else gets this. And if you do, please comment, please subscribe, please like, please just, connect with me in some way, shape or form. But, I just feel that, like, all that side of my life of, like, where I lived in Ireland is just, it's a memory. It's gone. There's nothing to keep igniting it. There's and I will never be able to talk about memories with my mum, with anybody, in the sense of share memories, yeah, it's like it's gone. It's like it's part of my life that's just disappeared. And I always knew my whole life, and I said it to everybody. People would say, how are you so confident? How are you so calm? How are you so, no matter what I wanted to do in life, I did. And my number one reason was my mother, because I had her. She had my back, and I knew no matter what, I had someone. Now, some people have their mums, their dads, their siblings. I had my mother, and she and me would be very similar. We're Scorpio. We love to the end. We love with all our heart and all our soul. We would die for the people we love. We would absolutely die. We are very protective, and our love is very, very deep to a painful point. Like, myself and my mother loved each other so much, we would actually cry over it. And we did argue, and when we'd argued, the pain was just unbearable for both of us. And we just adored each other. It was probably a codependent relationship. We were very needy of each other. But as she got older, she did need me, and I was there for her because I wanted to be there for her, because I absolutely adored her. And part of my personality is the carer anyway. I like to look after people and make people feel safe, and it's the way I am with animals as well. My mum was vulnerable. She was elderly, and she was just amazing, and and we loved each other, and we kind of knew each other so well, that kind of way. But that love that you have, that deep, deep love, and I would have that for other people that may not have that for me back. And now that's just, the connection and the ties are just completely cut. And it's very disorientating. It's a weird feeling. It's I genuinely feel I've just been lifted up and just plonked somewhere else, and it's like, start again. And literally start again, because usually if you move country, you're in contact with people. There's emails, there's texts, there's phone calls, there's oh my god, can you hear that? It's like really bad thunder. My hair is probably terrible. I'm sorry about my hair. So that's all. I just wanted to catch up. People were wondering how I was. I'm okay. I'm good. Just a bit pensive, being a Saturday morning. I'm going to heat my coffee in the microwave because I've just sat here and it's cold. And I'll watch a little bit of the news, and then I will attempt to do something, as in chop a few vegetables and a bit of fruit, and I will do a video of my juicing. It won't be that exciting because it's just stuff that's here. I have to make a soup as well. My friend Abby keeps saying, have you made soup yet? Have you made soup yet? Make a soup. And I'm like, oh my God, making actually, a juice, excuse me, is enough for me. I know I will. So that's all. I did actually a very long video, 40 minutes of me walking in Peoples, and I showed all the scenery. It was absolutely stunning. But I hadn't time to put it up, and I just looked back to see because the wind was really, and it was fabulous. It was the most beautiful scenery, and it was really nice. It was like, going for a walk with Neve. But the whole way through it, I'm like this. So after like a couple of minutes, I actually felt sick watching it because it was too much movement. So I didn't post it, but I will do. I will go for a walk and bring you all with me. We can have a look at beautiful Peoples and West Linton, where I'm living. And yeah, just maybe we can just go for a walk with Teddy and have a chat, and I'll show you around because it's beautiful and it's worth a visit. And I've gone rowing with this other girl. She lives in Gibraltar. She's English, and she goes rowing on her videos, and she'd be showing, it's primarily to chat, but then she'd say, this is such and such, or this boat just moved in last week, and blah, blah, blah. So it's nice just to see, you kind of feel you're there, So have a fabulous weekend, have a great Saturday, and I hopefully will see you later at my juicer. Okay, take care. Bye.